Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And I actually see some good news happening here from, I want to say, the far left. As much as it kind of shows, I see some people are waking up to the reality that these far left people are insane. They are not part of the group that they want to be associated with, and the far left are literally dying as we speak. And I see some recourse happening here. Now, what we have here is that the Great Betrayal. The left's reaction to the massacre in Israel has many progressive Jews in the West rethinking their past activism and political affiliations and friendships. After Donald Trump was elected, Emily Rose, 51, flew to New York with her daughters to walk in the Women's March. She demonstrated on the streets of Minneapolis, where she lives, in the days after George Floyd's murder. She donated money to small black-led movements and social justice organizations that she believed in. She learned and then re-educated herself as white Americans were attracted to, and the re-teachings of anti-racist scholars like Ta-Nehisi Coates. I think that's to pronounce that. But then, after the massacre in Israel on October 7th, when some 1,400 Jews were brutally murdered, not to mention the rapes, beheadings, and instances of torture, Rose began to notice something odd from the cohort of fellow progressives she admired. They were cheering for the other side. I started to see these intelligent, educated people whose mission is to make our system better for people of color, suddenly posting all this anti-Semitic, pro-Israel, pro-Palestine stuff. She wrote said, "I'm not changing my values, but screw the allyship. I will not stop fighting because I believe in the causes themselves. But as far as going out of my way to support, to pose, to give money, I'm done." Yes. And this is the thing that the very far left have realized, or the very far left are doing to the average human being. They're seeing that the far left want the genocide among pretty much anybody they disagree with. And they have been shown, which is hilarious, that they are the ones that kept on calling us Nazis, the normal people, the people living their lives, the people that probably tune into my channel every now and then and probably see that I'm probably either insane or just going about their lives doing their normal stuff. And a lot of these people do not really support majority of the far left stuff. And welcome to the side that is not insane. And I mean the side of just people in normal thinking that really have no say or much to do with the political stuff. And I have this as well. Where I had a particular friend that was kind of shocked that there were people hating the Jews and going against them and promoting the death of Jews in Israel. And when you have people like this thinking that are not political, that are not wanting any of this type of stuff, people start to question on what the far left actually are. And now we're seeing the realization that they're not what they think they are, and that they are not getting people on their side. They're now part of a very small minority of people that are not getting the response that they actually want. While professional politicals like DSA founder Maurice Iserman are publicly stepping down from their parties and denouncing organizations that justify or even cheer the events of October 7th, and wealthy Jewish donors claw back their millions from elite universities that they say helped foment anti-Semitism on their campuses, there's a quieter, more personal reckoning happening among the progressive Jews. Like Rose, they feel betrayed by a left and that they thought would have their backs. Yes, because they lie. The left, the very far left, are what we call the actual embodiment of pure evil. These people are not nice people. They want destruction of society. They want to have horrible relations with our kids. They are not what we call good people. We call them the devil. We would call them evil. I'm not really religious, so the devil thing is just in there because it's pretty much the worst thing you could possibly be. So these are kind of what these people are. And now, as I keep on saying, people are waking up to it. Dove, 30, a Canadian musician who didn't want to share her last name for privacy reasons, is transgender and a self-proclaimed political progressive. Since October 7th, she says, "Every time I open Instagram, I'm just like blocking or deleting people that I thought I knew." She calls anti-Zionism cloaked anti-Semitism. And this is where we have now even the transgender people going against the far left. This is not good in terms of what the far left are betraying. This is actually a huge issue with Joe Biden. You're starting to have even the trans community or some of the trans people, as I said before, going against this stuff or being feared that the fear of their lives. This is not a good thing for Joe Biden and anybody that are defending these radicals for any stretch of the imagination. So this is not good. Josh Gilman, 37, who lives in Arizona and prides himself on having friends across the political spectrum, says he has been muting even close friends who espouse anti-Zionist views. I don't need the emotional distress, he told the press. If there's someone who is truly my friend, it makes me feel that very much they don't understand who I am as a person. He's cut out people he had invited to dinner at his home and who had trusted around his family and children. There's a line in the sand, which is Israel, he said. Yes, and this is another thing that here's the thing here is that the far left don't actually have friends. They have people that they'll call allies unless you step out of their so-called worldview. So you're not a friend. You're just a person to use for their political gain. And if you do step out of their own boundaries, they are no longer friends. Now, I have quite a few friends that don't agree with a lot of stuff that I say, or they don't agree with, some of the things that have been going on. That doesn't mean they're stop being friends. It's kind of weird on how you can see on how the far left is operating here when it comes to friendships, allyship, etc. Nara Clock 34 lives in Virginia. He's marched for gay rights in 2020 and for the removal of statues of Confederate soldiers in some state. He said his choice to stand up for others is rooted in his Jewish identity. As a Jew, I feel like it would be weird if I went to Germany and took a right turn down Hitler Avenue or saw a statue of Eichmann and then hear people claim, oh, it's our history, we're just part of our history, he told me. Since October 7th, he's found himself politically homeless. The Jewish Progressive, the Free Press spokesman said they are no longer believe in the left that sees their own people's plight. They feel torn. They don't want to give up on the progressive causes they march for and believe in. But groups like Jews for Racial and Economic Justice and Jewish Voice for Peace don't speak for them. They don't feel like kinship with Israelis' allies on the right, like evangelical Christians and social conservatives. When you look at the political right, you see a group that seems very comfortable with Jews in Israel and very uncomfortable with Jews at home. And when you look at the political left, you see a group that seems very uncomfortable with Jews at home and very uncomfortable with Jews in Israel. Now let me put this here, where it says very uncomfortable with Jews at home. This is wrong. Because I don't see anybody that even agrees with me are uncomfortable with Jews at home. This is a complete fallacy. I've never once had a problem with Jews at all, for that matter, and I know that majority of people don't. You're starting to realize that the right is not as bad as it seems to be, and a lot of us don't mind Jews. It's the far left that you're now seeing have immense hatred and immense problem for Jews. Amelia Adams, 26, a writer and comedian in New York, told me she first noticed Jewish suffering being downplayed in May 2021. During the last bout of violence between Hamas and Israel, she called it the start of the gaslighting. Now she said it's another level. People have a lot of friends in the gay community and trans community are like, are you kidding me? It's hit LGBT Jews really hard. It's like, where do we go from here? Jack Hazan, a therapist in New York, agrees. He's been hosting virtual group therapy sessions for Jews in the wake of the massacre. I have clients in tears over this. We spend the entire session talking about it, he says. A theme that's come up and again is a betrayal, but by best friends who parrot lines like Israelis are guilty of settler colonialism or committing genocide. He says there's an element of shock among the many other Jewish people he counsels. You're mourning the loss of who you thought was this confident and friend, but what makes it doubly sad is that you feel the world is turned on you. So why does he think that the left has turned on his own people? It's not based on values or beliefs, he replies, adding that the left's view on Israel is part of a set of ideological platforms they can't break from. Therefore, he says, adopting the thinking of the progressive left, I have to stick to my guns even though it seems a little crazy that a 90-year-old woman is being escorted out of a tunnel, but must not be that bad and there are two sides of the story, he includes. It's totally sick. Clark said that for older friends he doesn't keep in touch with, the block button has come in handy. For closer friends, many of whom work in academia, he's taking a more tactful approach. I'm trying to explain to them why this is so important, why Israel matters, and why Jews need a homeland. But some aren't open to hearing about Israel at all. Adams told me about talking to a friend's boyfriend at a wedding when it came up that her cousin was in the IEF. I was talking to a white guy from New Jersey whose family property came here on the Mayflower, and he turned to me like, "Why would you be proud of that? Like, ew." She was caught off guard. I responded like she doesn't do the bad things. It was humiliating. I stumbled over my words. Thinking back, she asked, why did I say that? We don't need to apologize for our existence. She called the phenomenon of white liberal Americans looking down on Zionism as Westplating, a term borrowed from Elin Wolf. Adams is a law student and a liberal. I'm very pro-choice. I'm very for body autonomy. I spent the better part of 2020 concerned if I could get married to my girlfriend. I was terrified my rights would be taken away. I asked her if she still thinks of herself as a woman on the left. If you asked me that 3 weeks ago, I would have said yes. But now, she says, honestly, I don't know. Asked if she thinks the past few weeks will affect how she casts her ballot in 2024, Adams replied, I can't vote because she's an immigrant. But added, I feel lucky that this is a decision that I don't have to make. As for Rose, she says her party registration isn't shifting quite yet, though her media habits are. My friends and I are like, my God, we find ourselves watching clips on Fox News. This is what we call the true awakening of the far left. And this is probably going to shift a lot of people. Now, the far left are in battle for themselves. And I think this is going to be a huge wake-up call and get more people out of this horrible, gross insanity and start seeing people on the right. And the Fox News is going to start opening up things to these people. The fog is lifting, my friends. The fog is now becoming more of a veil. And as more of the far left starts becoming this insanity, more people are going to get more sane. They're going to start seeing reality, and I don't think that this is going to be affecting for people very much longer. So yes, please, far left, keep on doing this, because now you are having everybody wake up to the call, and it's not good. For you, specifically, we have this here from Amy Schumer, that she posted on this. This, as I said before, this has been blocked. This is removed. And what I want to say about this is if you do the Instagram here, if you go here, this page is no longer available. So I tried this multiple times, and this is the only way I could do this. So I had to do this in this type of format so you guys can actually see. It says here, for that people are just listening, Ivy League among top recipients of 8.5 billion ARAP funding. Cornell University is the single largest recipient of ARAP funding with over 1.5 billion gifted between 127 gifts or contracts. Students at American universities are currently exhibiting overwhelming support for Hamas and condemnation of the state of Israel. Amy Schumer, of all people, are actually saying stuff like this. And then we have this here. Amy Schumer reacts after getting canceled. So we have this here. Now Schumer, who has shared a number of posts expressing sympathy for the loss of innocent Israeli and Palestinian lives, has shared a post on Instagram that sheds light on her opinion about the ongoing conflict. Schumer has not publicly addressed the backlash she has faced in her own words, instead choosing to repost a video from actor and comedian Lee Kern that is addressed to Jewish people. At the time of writing, Schumer had turned off comments. This is the moment you were prepared for. This is the moment when you were told you have to act. You can't be anxious, you can be scared at times, but doesn't mean you must not act, Kim said in the video. And she goes on to say that, and in the Islamic Jihad missile killing hundreds of innocent Palestinians in a hospital in Gaza, many Western outlets published a propaganda lie, blaming Israel without fact-checking. Facts only reached the headlines an hour later, Schumer wrote in the post. So, yeah, even Amy Schumer is coming out against this type of stuff, and she is far left and wacky and crazy as it gets. And she's even seen the light. Actors, people are waking up. We are changing history, guys, and it's all thanks to the far left. Good job for you guys being true Nazis, because you're truly seeing on what you people are, and we don't take kindly to Nazis around here, and you're starting to realize this across the world, and especially at home. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.